Alright, I finished watching Where the Heart Is, Part 2 of Dr. Quinn, Season 2. This is Episode 7. So we ended the first part of Where the Heart Is with Sully walking into Dr. Mike's home, her mom's home in Boston. So they start off the episode, Sully's eating, he looks famished, he hasn't eaten probably in a while. And you know, they're trying to figure out who this guy is, and especially Dr. Burke. And Dr. Mike kind of is like, well, he's a minor, he's this, and this, and he saved my life multiple times. So sweet. And then Dr. Burke was like, well, you have my utmost gratitude. And you can kind of, that right then, Sully knows that Dr. Burke has a thing for her. What else? I watched this last night, so it's not as fresh in my mind as it usually is, so it might be a little bit out of sequence. But the children show Sully around Boston. They show him the candy store, the opera, the place with the clothes, the nice suits. They try and dress him and show him how to dance and kind of get him ready to date Dr. Mike, basically. And Dr. Mike and Dr. Burke, so Dr. Burke's been fired from Dr. Hansen's practice because he went behind his back and let Dr. Mike treat her mother. God forbid you are a doctor and treat your own parent. Anyways, Dr. Burke has a lot of poor patients that he sees for free, which is, he's a really nice guy. He really is sweet. He is just not Dr. Mike's guy. Sully is her guy. But he's a very nice person, you know, he does this for free. He's thinking about opening his own practice with a partner, and he kind of hints, and, you know, he would love Dr. Mike to be his partner. You know, she has to kind of think about it. They go to a couple readings. I don't know what these things are, why people, just to pass the time, I guess, but a lot of doctors get together. They hear readings from other doctors of what they've done. The first time they go, Sully is kind of not welcome. Dr. Mike is not welcome, but he's definitely not welcome because of how he was dressing. He was still dressing like he would if he was in Colorado Springs. That night, Elizabeth, Dr. Mike's mom, comes up to his room, and which reminds me of something else, but I'll get to it. She comes up to his room and brings him a suit that used to belong to her husband, Dr. Mike's father. And Sully's like, I mean no disrespect. And she says, I mean no disrespect, Mr. Sully, but she basically says that Dr. Mike already has to take up for herself in regards to being a woman doctor, and she shouldn't have to take up for his appearance. But even to the good Colorado Springs people, the way he dresses a little, you know, unexpected. Not something that they see. So she's like, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. And also, that first night he was there, I forgot to mention, in the bedroom scene made me remember it. Dr. Mike shows him to his room, like gets him saddled. She's just being very formal the whole time to him. And he's like, you don't seem happy to see me. And she's like, I was just surprised. He said he was worried, and we all know why he was worried. But he was worried that something had happened to her mom or them or one of the kids. So he came to make sure everything was okay. Yeah. He was worried, all right. They all go out, and this is before Colleen teaches Sully how to dance. They have, oh, this is for Elizabeth's birthday. Her birthday has arrived, and they wanted to stay for her birthday. Matthew's pissed that he's still in Colorado Springs, like highly pissed. He wants to go home, he wants to be with Ingrid, go back to his regular daily routine. And Dr. Mike's like, no, you know, they've been there now for a little over a month, so I get it. But yeah, he's not pleased. But they celebrate Elizabeth's birthday. Dr. Mike and Dr. Burke are dancing, and It's just Sully and Mrs. Quinn sitting on the couch in this, wherever they were celebrating at. And she says, my doctors tell me that I can't dance yet. What's your excuse? And he didn't know how. So Colleen teaches him. They kind of just prepare him to take Dr. Mike out on a date. So he takes her out to the restaurant that Dr. Burke had taken them to. Brian gets one of the servants to let him borrow like a plate and all of this silverware that he's gonna see that night at dinner. They talk about escargot, which he didn't know what that was. Ugh. But evidently Dr. Mike loves it. Colleen taught him how to dance, and they just dressed him. And they also went to the opera. Like, what? It's just very sweet though. They go to dinner, they dance, and then they also go to the opera. Sully has not a clue what they're saying because it's in another language. I think it was in French. But Dr. Mike is explaining it to him. She said that the guy will never know how much she loves him. Okay, sorry about that. Got cut off. It was just very sweet, him taking her out on a date, and she seemed to really enjoy it. And so they go to another like doctor briefing, and Sully comes. He's dressed nicely this time in a suit, and Dr. Burke was supposed to be speaking, but he used his privilege to turn it over to Dr. Mike. And of course the men in there did not like that. Many of them left. Some stuck around, and then she started talking about the treatment that she used on her mother and how it was Indian medicine basically. And again, more men left. There was one that was sitting right next to Sully. He was getting ready to get up and leave. Sully puts his hand on his shoulder and like sits him down. So Dr. Mike goes through the diagnosis, the treatment, everything about it. And there's not a lot of people left in the room, but those that were, they gave her a standing ovation. Bravo to the men in there that did that. Yes, thank you. Give her her props. And then Dr. Burke takes her aside after that and just kind of confesses his love for her. He asks if she loves Sully, because he's saying that he does, and he's promising himself to her and wants to marry her, open the practice together, and she just doesn't know what to say. And she wanted to think it over. Sully kind of overheard this, and he kind of came out of the building, and he's waiting for them from afar. And then he sees them come out, and he's like, "Excuse us," to Dr. Burke. And yeah, they talk, and they're like, he's like, "Are you gonna marry him?" And she's like, "I beg your pardon. No begging necessary. Just, are you gonna marry him?" She's like, "Well, you've obviously been eavesdropping." And they get into this big fight, and Sully storms off. Dr. Mike gets back to her mom's house, and there's Elizabeth, her mom, and Colleen and Brian. They look solemn, and Dr. Mike is like, "Okay, where is he? Where's Sully?" And Matthew, who's still so pissed, it's hilarious. He's like, "He's gone. He left." And you act like you don't care about him anymore. Like before, when Matthew and Dr. Mike got into it, he talked about how formal Dr. Mike was being towards Sully. It's just Sully. Like, come on now. And when he went upstairs, Sully was like, to Dr. Mike, she's like, "He's so angry." It's like, well, he misses Ingrid. And he's right about one thing. It is just me. So, she had changed back to who she had been before. And her sisters thought that she had still a lot of Colorado Spring left in her. She was out in the sun too much, letting her hair fly all over the place, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, Sully's gone. She said, how long ago did he leave? And I can't remember what they said, maybe 30 minutes ago, maybe an hour, 2 hours. She runs. I don't know how she gets there fast, but she gets to that train station. She's looking for Sully, looking in each boxcar, and she finally finds him. And, you know, I'm trying to think of specifically what they say, but she said, you're just gonna leave without saying goodbye? And he said, what did it matter? Or why do you care? And she asked, why did you come? And he's like, why do you care? And she says, cause I care. And he said, well, it sure didn't look like it back at that meeting. And she said, why did you come? You want to know why? He said, yes. And then the train jolts and they kind of end up together. He says, because I love you. And she leaves the boxcar and just leaves Sully there with no response. So she gets back home. Elizabeth is sitting, I guess, in whatever room in her house is called, the parlor maybe. She kind of is wanting to Dr. Mike to stay in Boston, marry Dr. Burke, open the practice together, raise the children there like appropriately, like they should be. But Dr. Mike knows that her life is in Colorado Springs now, and she knows that she loves Sully and not Dr. Burke. So, you know, they end up coming to an understanding. She goes upstairs to tell Colleen, and Colleen actually really loved it in Boston, which I'm not surprised. Obviously, she's a young girl, and that kind of seems to be her jam. But I'm sure she's excited to be home as well. She said, did you tell Brian and Matthew yet? She's like, no, I was gonna let you have the pleasure of doing that. And she was like, Matthew, Brian, we're going home. And the cheer, I'm sure, erupted. I don't think that they played it on there, but it really was. So she goes to tell Dr. Burke her decision. You know, he can see it on her face as soon as she walks in the door. He says that she owes him no explanation, even though she tries to. He really is a good guy. I will reiterate that again. He's a good guy, a good doctor, just not for Dr. Mike. It's Sully. So they get on the train, say goodbye to, you know, Elizabeth and her sisters and everyone, and head home. They show them at the end getting off the stagecoach in Colorado Springs. Everyone's coming to greet them. Lauren gives Brian a big hug. Matthew sees Ingrid and they hug and kiss. You know, everyone's just so excited to see them back, because they were gone for over a month, probably like a month and a half or so. And then you can see Dr. Mike is just kind of looking around, looking to see if she can find Sully. And then she sees him from afar, and he sees her, and it's just the most beautiful thing that you would ever see. She runs up to him into his arms. He picks her up and gives her a hug, and she's like, I love you too. And then they kiss. Chef's kiss right there. Perfect ending to that episode. I love where the heart is. Home is definitely where the heart is. It's with your people that you love. I just love this episode so much, because it's really the start of their relationship and their courtship. So you can kind of see how that goes. If it's rocky, if it's smooth, if it's a little bit of both. See what problems and issues arise in their relationship. So that's what you're going to see a lot of in this season. So excited to watch the next episode. It's a Thanksgiving episode, and can't wait to do the recap on that. I hope everyone has a wonderful Tuesday night. Again, chef's kiss on this episode, and the ending was priceless and perfect, and I just love it. So hope you guys loved it as much as I do, and have a good one.